Give us the sign.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman. You are all set and ready to go.
Thank you. Okay, so today is Thursday, October 9th, and this is this month's meeting of Public Works Facilities and Sustainability Committee. And my name is Barry Walters. I'll be chairing this meeting. And let's see do a quick good peek around to see who all is here. We have Councilor Carol Blanks, who is our vice chair, if you will. And Deputy Mayor Ben Winograd is joining us. We have Town Manager Rick Ledwith, Public Works Director John Phillips.
Yep, I'm back.
We have Tiffany McGinnis, I think, popping in and out. Hopefully she gets her tech taken care of. We have Catherine Deviney. Welcome, Catherine, with us. And our fabulous tech person, Jerida, has joined us. So I think I don't see anybody else. If there is somebody, please speak up. Otherwise, we will go ahead and call this meeting to order and move on to our business items. Our first business item is our approval of the minutes from September 16th, 2025. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Thank you, Carol. And so do we have an approval of the minutes? I approve. Do you approve, Carol?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Carol. We are going to go on to B, which is a resolution appropriating the environmental fee collected from so-called NIPS. And I am going to go ahead and turn it over to Town Manager Rick Ledwith.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good evening, everyone. As the chairman said, we're introducing a resolution appropriating the town's revenue from the state's miniature alcohol container surcharge, which we commonly refer to as a NIP surcharge. And I do want to take a moment to credit our Public Works Director, John Phillips, and his team for their really creative use of these funds. And rather than treating this as a small one-time revenue source, John has leveraged it to continue building on a very successful start to one of our sustainability initiatives, and that's our food waste diversion program. And through this program, as you know, we've been diverting food scraps from our waste stream, reducing disposal costs and really helping us move closer to our environmental and sustainability goals. And using the NIP surcharge to support and expand this effort will directly benefit our town and our environment. So through you, Mr. Chairman, I will turn things over to Mr. Phillips to provide a little bit more detail on that. Thank you.
Don, you're on mute, I think, again.
Yep. Again, good evening. I apologize. Thank you, Town Manager Ledwith, and to the chair, John Phillips, Director of Public Works. Yes, Rick gave a great summary of what this resolution entails. In our Public Works Monthly Report, we do break out the details we intend to spend this account on, and they're all related to waste management initiatives, which is by statute, the NIP funds must be used for waste management programming. And the resolution is scheduled for $119,000 expenditure line, create $119,000 worth of expenditure lines. So we'll use $44,000 to expand our food waste collection program, moving containers out to more locations throughout town. Again, that, as you know, we've talked about it through this committee. That has been a goal of ours after we launched the first 4 locations, and we're seeing great success at those 4 locations. We're also going to use the funds to reimburse our operating funds for Catherine Bruns's work and her efforts as a recycling coordinator. It'll fund her position for 1 year. And then we're also going to apply it to the contractual services, which collects the food waste from those locations. So it's a good use of this money. It's an appropriate use of this money. And again, because of the state law, the way the state law works, we'll continue to receive this money. And so as programs enhance and programs move along, we get other ideas. We'll come back to at future dates to spend remaining monies that sit in this fund. The current, by the way, so for transparency, the current balance of the fund is $164,000, and we're looking to expend $119,000 of that funds through this resolution. And I'm happy to take any questions related to this requested resolution.
Thank you, Director Phillips. I see here through the agenda that some of the possible locations that those new food scrap bins collection points will be, and I think folks will be pretty happy with the uh, the location all over town of the new bins. So I think that's great. Do we have any idea of what that remaining balance, the 40,000, 45,000, whatever it is, do we have any thoughts yet on that, or is that something that's just in the works?
I would say it's in the works. 45,000 in this grand scheme of things of programming and doing other things isn't a whole lot, right? So, like we've done so far, we've let it accumulate for a little while, and so we have a fund so we can actually make significant contributions to our actually operating programs, like salary line items or contractual service line items, things of that nature. But as opportunities come up and we have ideas, we know this fund is sitting there for waste management initiatives. And so we can turn to it if we need to, if something were to come up and we need the funds to fund another initiative.
Or I'll ask one more question before I turn it over to the others. Uh, how much did we receive in funds for this last year?
So right now we're averaging about 41 to 42,000 per year. So it comes in spring and fall. We have not seen the fall contribution yet this year. So we're not, we're anticipating another 20,000 to come into the fund into the town of West Hartford. Again, that won't be related to this resolution. That'll go into the fund that we have to request to use. But again, remember that the fund is dictated based on the per capita sales of NIPS within West Hartford's boundaries. So if our residents or passer throughs slow down on the NIP purchases, that fund is obviously reflective on that. If they bought a lot more, then we'll see more in the way of funds.
Okay, thank you. So I will turn it over to our other folks here. Councilor Blanks, do you have any questions?
Yes, Chair, no questions but comments. So I just want to say, John, thank you. How creative. As I was reading through the report, I was so pleased to see that how you came up with this way of using these funds, especially as you said, we were conversing about expanding the station for our food waste, and this seems to be quite timely. I just love it because I learned so much about your report and how creative you are. I guess that's why you're the best
Winograd, do
public
you have
works
any?
director in the state. So thank you. That's it for
I
me,
appreciate that. Thank you.
Chairman.
Thank you, Councilor Blanks. And Deputy Mayor?
No.
No questions. Is Councilor McGinnis still on? I don't see her.
She is still on, yeah.
And do you
Don't
have
have
any
any questions? No.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Does anybody else have questions? Awesome. All right. Well, thank you, Director Phillips, for that information. Let me see, go back here. And so, the resolution. So, what do we need to do with the resolution now? And when will it be presented to Town Council?
So thank you, Mr. Chairman. So this resolution is on Tuesday night's agenda for our council meeting for Tuesday, the 14th. So this will be presented to the council for your approval at that time.
Okay, great. Thank you, Mr. Ledwith. So I guess we can move on to the next if there are no more questions or comments. Next thing on the agenda is communications. Are there any communications that we should discuss?
Nothing under communications this evening. We can roll right on to John's report.
Excellent. All right. Director Phillips, you're up.
All right, thanks again, Director of Public Works, John Phillips. Thanks again this evening for participating. So report is, again, I'm really falling in love with our new format. It's chock full of information. It's easy to read, and it's really telling the story of the men and women of Public Works and how much work they do in just a month-to-month basis. It's really full of great information and a lot of achievements, both in reaching our customers, forward-facing to our customers, and just production-wise that we do out in the field in the world of maintenance. Just like to draw your attention, obviously, what we just talked about a little bit, but our community outreach for environmental issues, our participation in the CTCR electric showcase happened in last month. We had a household hazardous waste collection very recently, with 656 cars participated, dropping off their most hazardous wastes that cannot go in the general waste stream. Again, a credit to our residents for paying attention to that special day and making sure they're being good stewards of the materials they have. Highlight our food waste program, which we again touched on earlier. Just last month from our food waste program, just in 1 month, 10,000 pounds of food waste was diverted from our waste stream, just from our 4 locations that we have. I think that's the highest amount we've had to date. We do have about 893 residents that have signed up with an active participation rate of over 50%, which is very good. Again, Catherine Bruns continues to do a great job with public outreach with our at our school systems and getting our schools on board and diverting their food waste from their cafeterias. We do have a fall paper shred coming up on October 25th, 9 to noon down here at Public Works. It is that time of year. Fall bag leaf collection is going to be kicking off very shortly, where we go from a bi-weekly collection of yard waste to a weekly collection. We do like to emphasize we only want to pick up leaves because of the volume. We want to make sure we keep up with the volume of material that we do pick up at the curb on a weekly basis. If people put out more sticks and other types of yard debris, it really slows the program down and really will drive up costs of the program as well, because we'll need to put more resources on it to keep up with the pace of the volume. But in general, the program runs very well, and I think our residents do respond to that request of Public Works to just put their leaves out. And it's a 7-week program that will take us to December 15th of 25. And again, it's a good program, well received by our community. And again, we are also launching a streamline of our recycling permit process. This has been a problem for Public Works for some time, about just getting down to the processing, if you would, but still make sure that we're only servicing our residents, our local residents at the recycling center. And we'll be launching next week a more streamlined process where the residents won't have to come down to the office to present their stuff. It'll be an online version of doing that. So a credit to Public Works Administration for getting that kicked off, and we'll get that launched in the next week or so. Turning our attention to municipal parking, we're because of LaSalle Road getting to a point where it might be very active and construction is slow, coming to us, not to an end, but certainly to a milestone of completion. We'll be putting out our parking signs, and we're going with a new look, advertising our electronic, our pay apps at the kiosk, so we can represents our use anyways. Our use is actually continues to grow, where more and more residents or end users, visitors to West Hartford are using our apps. And so we'll focus our signs on that to get that information out, including adding what zone you're in on the signs where that did not happen before. So again, that's an upgrade on the signage. And we think that's be an added value to the residents looking and being able to follow our paid parking rules. An update on our garage restoration. We're coming up to our winter shutdown because of the concrete work and the membrane work. It's temperature sensitive, so we're finishing up in the Memorial Garage, which represents concrete restoration, crack sealing, and membrane work of that garage. And then we'll also start work will kick off on our escalator and elevator restoration project. Again, that work can work throughout the winter, and we'll get started on that very shortly. The fleet, we are piloting dash cams on our trucks. If you have access to the report or the public is watching on the report, you can see a good picture. The cameras are very good. It's a Samsara system, which is the most widely used GPS system across the state, including our friends at CTDOT. They deploy this technology in their plow trucks or their trucks in general. So we're just looking at it. It's not an inexpensive option, but the value of it is really the value comes if something were to go wrong. It could pay dividends in fighting a claim or seeing something happen wrong. I mean, we all see the snapshots of dash cams used in a positive manner for operations or for claim purposes. And so we're also looking at ourselves. But again, that just gives an example of what we're doing. Again, it's a forward-thinking project for our truck operation out on the field. Our grounds division has been extremely busy over the last 4 weeks since the last time we met. We've put in a number of pollinator habitat gardens throughout West Hartford, most notably, which is the picture that shows is the corner of Raymond Road and Park Road. It actually came out fantastic. I saw it on paper and we're like, oh, yeah, it looks good, typical pollinator garden. But see the grounds team and under Justin Andrews' leadership actually complete it. It's fascinating how well that came out. It really gives that corner a lot of pop. We also finished Connie the Whale in the last several days, so that's also done. And we're just continue to work with the Garden Club. They've been a great partner of ours in helping us advance this initiative of getting more pollinating gardens out there, really in direct view of the public to see. So it's a great addition to what we're doing. Also, we have a daffodil project that's happening. We made a new garden bed out in the front of Town Hall, and the daffodil project is created to honor the dead children of the Holocaust. There'll be a ceremony coming up, but we planted over 600 bulbs in that area to represent this memorial, and we look forward to seeing it in bloom next spring. And again, the rest of the report just shows areas we've participated in and highlighted some of the pictures where Public Works. And it's important to note the Public Works on these events and the pictures, the EV showcase and the Touch a Truck program at Whiting Lane School, all done by volunteers from Public Works to participate and show off our activities, and also just participating in other community events. We do have a recruitment announcement. Erica Brown, West Hartford resident, was brought in as a part-time Public Works administrator to learn our systems and help us out in the front office. Again, it's a badly needed position. I wish, if there were plug-in it, we need it to be full-time, but we'll take part-time at this time. But we're excited about Erica Brown joining our front office team and helping us out. And that concludes our report for this month.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Phillips. Are there any questions? No?
I don't have any questions, Mr. Chair.
Or thank you. I actually have
No
a
questions
couple
for me.
things here. Pardon?
No, go ahead.
Okay. I have a couple things. First, I did see in the report where the escalators for the garage, we're recycling some things, and it looks like there's going to be a good cost savings in there. And I wanted to say thank you for that. It was a couple $100,000, so it's not chump change. So that is great. And the other note that I wanted to make was I had opportunity to be over at Norfeld Field, which is just down the street from my house, and that particular food scrap drop off was. I was watching car come in, they drop it off, leave. A couple minutes later, another one come in, drop off. So it was pretty regular, and it was great to actually see that. And again, also the pollinator garden right around the corner from my house, and yes, it does look very good. You also were telling us right before, and perhaps it was going to be part of next month's report, but you did pretty well in some drills for snow plowing today. Why don't you tell us about that?
Thank you, Chairman, for bringing that up. Yes, so today we participated at the Town of West Hartford Public Works team. A few of our members participated in a snowplow safety rodeo. It's an event put on by the Connecticut Association of State Highway Officials and KERMA, which is a workman's comp or insurance agency that services several municipalities across the state. It's really a day of safety and awareness of our skills of plowing snow. but spun in a fun way just to kick off the season and start thinking about trucks. It's a day of networking of other municipalities getting together. We get to see what other people are doing for trucks. Why do they use that? Why do we use that? And so it's a great day of networking and seeing other municipalities. About 30 other towns participate in the event. And we're proud to say that West Hartford, two of our drivers, succeeded at a first place and third place in their respective classes. So a credit to them and their skills and their participation in it. It was a fun day overall, and I think everybody that participated got something out of it.
Great. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. One last question, and it's regarding municipal parking because it keeps coming up and I keep getting asked the question.
Mhm.
And that has to do with parking rules.
Mhm.
And when we first changed over to the zones, at that time, it was my understanding that if you moved from one zone to the next zone to a different zone, you didn't have to pay again. You could just, it transferred with you. There seems to be questions that that is not the case anymore. So I wanted to put it to bed right now and ask, is that still the case? And if so, yeah, I mean,
So So yes, in theory, that is still the case. We do sometimes come into a glitch, and it's a data glitch where the system's not seeing that you've registered in a different zone when a different zone is being enforced. In most cases, we get those adjudicated and taken care of if brought to our attention. But
okay,
that
great.
is the case. We try to catch that. Again, I'm sure we're not catching everybody. And again, that just comes down to a data glitch that the system's not seeing it, even though you paid somewhere else.
Okay, great. So, well, not great that it's glitching, but it does follow you as you move around the center, as if you need to not walk and drive for whatever reason. So, all right,
That's
great. Thank you, Director Phillips.
Okay,
I
Mr. Chair,
appreciate. Yes,
Mr. Chair,
yes,
I do have one more question. I do have one question for Mr. Phillips, if I may.
yes. Go ahead, Counselor Blanks.
Good to go. Okay. Hi, Director Phillips. I just have a quick question regarding the response time of Public Works when there's an accident. And I bring this up because it looks like the response time is pretty quick, but I just wanted to have an idea. I noticed maybe a few days ago there was an accident on New Britain Ave in South Quaker, and it may have just happened, and I was traveling south, and then a few minutes later I was traveling in the opposite direction, and the debris was all cleaned up. Would you care to address that real quick?
So most of those cases, it's really all about timing. So if it's after hours, it would probably take us a little bit longer because we have to bring somebody in from home. We're a single shift workforce, but the town obviously is busy 24/7. There's always activity on our transportation system. So if it's during the daytime, as soon as we get the call from the PD where they're requesting our assistance, it's one of our priority kind of calls. We do as long as we can safely break off of on a project that we might be on and the equipment is nearby, we'll respond as soon as possible. Other cases, we might have to return to the yard and get the street sweeper if it's not already deployed, and that will take us a little bit more time. But again, during hours of operation, we're fairly quick. Again, it's also triggered by the call from our ERC center. After hours, though, it does take a little bit longer because we do have to bring somebody in from home.
Okay, thank you for that information, and the clarification. That's really important for me to know as well as for the listening audience, because as I said, kudos out to your crew because it seems like that they were able to really get to the scene fairly quickly and clean that debris up because I was concerned as I was traveling in the south direction and saw the debris. But like I said, on my return trip, I noticed that it was all clean. So thank you
Yep.
for providing that information once again.
No, it was a great question. Public Works appreciates it.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you,
set, Mr.
Counselor
Chair.
Blanks. Thank you. Um, are there any other questions? Hearing none, we can go to the next item on the agenda. facilities update. Unfortunately, Bob Palmer wasn't able to join us tonight. I do understand that and I have read through the facilities update, and it seemed that most things are moving along that need to be moving along. That's including the Animal Control Center. I think they've got the foundations done, and if the walls aren't going up already, they will be shortly. Was there anything else to add to that, Mr. Ledwith?
No, I think, all the major projects are moving forward, as you said, Mr. Chairman, and the report has not changed since last month, essentially. As is often the case with large projects, like the animal control facility, it's an ongoing construction project for the next several months and will remain on the report. But I'm happy to answer any high-level questions that the committee may have on any of the other projects that are going on that you may have questions on.
Are there any questions that Mr. Ledwith might be able to answer for you?
I don't have any, Mr. Chair.
All right, thank you. And hearing no other questions, we can move on to sustainability update, which must mean it's Catherine DeVinny's turn to speak. You're up.
Thank you. This is Catherine DeVinny, Energy Specialist for the town of West Hartford. I don't have too much to report to you. I provided just some pictures from 2 successful events that the Sustainable West Hartford Commission held recently, with the help of many volunteers and partners. And thank you to those of you town councilors who attended as well. There was a good turnout at our West Hartford Electric Showcase and Sunday celebration. And then the following weekend, the Garden Club and Commission hosted an open house at the new Wolcott pollinator habitat. So those were great events. Just a couple of other small items. I wanted to alert you that some of our Sustainable West Hartford Commission members might be reaching out to you for some one-on-ones. They are getting ready to start their planning process for next year, as well as their annual report to town council, looking back at what they did this year, and are excited to reach out to you to get your input and feedback so that they can better align their work and enhance support for their efforts next year. And then the other small item was just to let you know that Catherine Bruns, the town recycling coordinator, and I have also started conversations to work more closely with the West Hartford Public Schools administration from the top down to encourage more of a culture of conservation in schools, focused on correct recycling, the food waste diversion program, as well as kind of all the stuff that accumulates in our schools, personal items and plug lows and things that might be improved to enhance fire safety, operational and energy efficiency. So those conversations we're sort of laying some building blocks about developing a more comprehensive program in conjunction with the administration. That's it for this month. I'm happy to take any questions.
Short, little sweet report. Thank you. Does anybody have any questions?
No questions from me, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Anyone else have a question? All right, hearing none, I will go ahead and just say, how many trips up to the rooftop did you take of Town Hall?
Yeah, as part of the 4 actually. And I think we took about 40 or 50 folks up to the roof as part of the electric showcase. We were allowed, well, we put forward the idea and we were allowed this year to do walking tours of the large solar array that's on Town Hall roof. And I think it was fun and it was very well received. So that was good.
And it raises an interesting point because I do think, even though that we've talked about it a few times, most of our buildings have solar on top of the roofs, correct?
We have 14 rooftop solar installations ranging in size from a few panels all the way up to the large one that covers King Philip Middle School. So there are 14. A lot of our roofs are too old for solar. And so we look at them as we get capital funding for roof replacements. And other roofs are not suited well to solar. So we continue to look at solar, rooftop solar. We also have 2 large, what we call virtual net metering solar contracts, where we purchase power from an off-site solar farm. And that saves the town quite a lot of money in addition to supporting renewable energy. But we do support on-site renewable energy on our rooftops, but we can't always implement it. But it is definitely a focus.
So in our report, we have 2 schools that will be hopefully getting new roofs over the next 2 years. Is solar included in that as well?
It's not included in the roofing project. It will usually follow afterwards. But yes, we are already starting to think about drafting an RFP for solar on some of the recently roofed buildings such as Sedgwick, large portions of Hull High School, and I think Bugby and Brayburn are also roofs we're in the middle of working on, but there might be some complications with Brayburn. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you. And don't tell anybody that I might go seed bomb with some milkweed seeds, some of the gardens. So get the garden club mad at me though, and probably. Any case, thank you. Thank you for that report. Number 5, future agenda items. Mr. Ledwith, do we have anything that has been brought to your attention?
Nothing that's been brought to my attention yet, sir.
And does anybody here have any thoughts on future agenda items? Quiet crowd tonight, quiet crowd. All right. We'll go on to number 6, and number 6 is adjournment. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Councilor Blanks. All right, so we are adjourned. Thank you. Have a good evening. Salsa in the square right now. So if you want to go dance a little, head on over to the center.
Have a good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.